Hello and welcome to the Image Austenite. My name is Frances Duncan. I am an author and the founder of the Jane Austen Society of New Zealand. Today we're going to be talking about episode 10 of the Courtship. There are only 12 episodes in this season, which means we are heading very quickly to the end. Things are getting very interesting for the boys. Mr. Nazir admits to throwing Mr. Chapman under the bus. Mr. Chapman admits to being in lust with Miss Remy but wanting to find out if it could be love, whereas he thinks that for her it's love. The Remy family decide to divide and conquer. Basically, they each agree to take one of the gentlemen aside and figure out what their motives are and whether this is going to be the right match for Miss Remy. Mrs. Remy brings up the question of race. She wants to ensure that each of the gentlemen are comfortable with her family in their home society. This has come up before with Miss Remy having been rejected when she was younger because she's black. And it must be noted that all the guys that are left are white. The Remys are a loving and supportive family. Looking forward to 2 new additions. Mr. Remy Jr. is going to leave shortly as his wife is about to give birth. And they're also talking about Miss Remy's potential new husband. The main event is an evening carnival, which they're referring to as a pleasure garden. Miss Remy gets her tea leaves read. She's sitting with Mr. Judge and wearing someone's coat, but it doesn't appear to be his. All they really learn is that Mr. Judge is a great guy and ready for marriage, but pretty sure we knew this already. Mr. Judge is winning with Mr. Remy Jr. When he raises the question about race, Mr. Judge said he hadn't considered it, but he's very open to learning. Mr. Boccaccio manages to impress Mr. Remy Sr., despite him previously never having liked him. He specifically chose Mr. Boccaccio because he wanted to make him uncomfortable, but Mr. Boccaccio answers his questions well, says that family is really important, he can see himself marrying Nicole, and she would fit into his family. So they do a toast together, and Mr. Boccaccio is off the hook. Mrs. Remy asks Mr. Cones if he wants kids just as he's taking a drink, so he just about chokes. Then he says, yes, I do. She then goes on to ask him how his family would accept Nicole, considering that she's black. The interesting thing being that Miss Remy had already had that conversation with him. He was the first person she had that conversation with. He says his family would be great, and his mother is Afro-Brazilian, I think. The host points out that Mr. Nazir is getting drunk. Mr. Nazir tells Mrs. Baker, Miss Remy's sister, that he previously had a Romeo and Juliet relationship which caused a rift with his family, and it's really important to him that his family will accept his new partner. He goes to have a tea leaf reading. His cup's almost empty, which somehow translates to he's supposed to be with Miss Remy, which he agrees with. They're interrupted by Mr. Boccaccio, and his reading says that he needs to open up basically and admit to Miss Remy he's in love with her. Mr. Chapman has his tea leaves read, and it shows half a heart, which he thinks is a bad sign, but Miss Remy thinks is a great sign. The tea leaf reader says it means they've got stuff to build on, but Mr. Chapman wonders whether it's because she's in love with him, but he's not sure whether he's in love with her. Miss Remy and Mr. Chapman ride the carousel together. She tells him that she's kind of changing her ideas about what she wants. She thought she wanted someone perfect, but she actually cares more about the emotions, in particular how she feels when he looks at her. Mr. Cones's tea reading reveals that on paper they're not a good match, but he can make Miss Remy laugh, and that's something a lot of the other guys can't do, and he's pretty happy with that reading. There's very cute scenes of Mr. Nazir dancing hilariously on the dance floor. Then he tries to take Miss Remy from Mr. Boccaccio, who tells him quite clearly to fuck off. Mr. Remy Jr. makes his exit. Both he and Miss Remy are crying. It's so beautiful to see the sibling bond that they have. The next day, Mr. Judge and Miss Remy have a date together in an orchard. They talk about both having been in love before. Miss Remy thinks that he's a safe bet. It sounds like maybe she wants a little bit of a bad boy. When she drops Mr. Judge home, Miss Remy takes the opportunity to talk to Mr. Nazir, ask him what the future would look like if they were together, and he kind of dodges the question. He says he wants commitment, but he's not sure when. Mr. Chapman admits to the guys that he wants a relationship that allows space for the people to be independent adults, basically, to maintain their own lives, their own homes, and enjoy the time they spend together, which I fully get because I'm the same way. But to the other guys, this is heresy. And I imagine it probably would be to Miss Remy too. She wants the traditional relationship. She wants someone who wants to marry her, who wants to live with her and enmesh their lives. Miss Remy picked exactly who I thought she was going to for her final dances. Mr. Nazir and Mr. Judge, who, it should be remembered, were both intruders. The editing makes it look like she's going to send Mr. Judge home because he's the safe bet, but she decides that actually the safe bet is a good bet and instead sends Mr. Nazir home because she can't see how their lifestyles would meld together. Interesting that she says that considering Mr. Chapman is still around. They both give her hugs and lift her off her feet. Mr. Nazir turns to the guys before he leaves and says, "Look after her." Mr. Chapman doesn't talk to Miss Remy at the end of the ball. He normally goes up to her at the end to say something important. The reason he doesn't do this is because afterwards he sneaks up to her room. Seems like he's going to be spending the night. Be interesting to see the fallout from that in the next episode. So this was my summary of episode 10 of The Courtship. My name is Frances Duncan. You can find me at francesduncanwrites.com and on Twitter at Frances_Duncan. Thank you for listening, and I wish you happy watching.